There's so much talk of love in our societies, it would be natural to think that we must by now know just what it is and why it counts. Love is the excited feeling we get in the presence of someone of unusual accomplishment and talent, great intelligence or beauty for the most part, someone whom we hope will reciprocate our interest and whom we badly want to touch, caress, and one day share our lives with. This definition sounds so plausible and enjoys such powerful cultural endorsement, we are apt to miss another vision of love altogether. This one focused not so much on the appreciation of strength as on a tolerance of and kindness towards what is weak and misshapen. According to this vision, we display love when, on the way home, we come across an itinerant drunk, weather-beaten and dishevelled, and do not for once turn away and instead make the momentous internal step of considering them as a version of ourselves, someone prey to the same passions and distempers, visited by the same longings, upset by similar losses, and worthy of their own share of compassion and tolerance. We show love, too, when we see a well-dressed person shouting grandly and imperiously at an airport, filled with self-righteousness, apparently bloated on their own self-regard. And we don't dismiss them immediately as insane or entitled, but instead we take the trouble to see the frightened, vulnerable self beneath the bluster. We grow curious as to the sickness of the soul that might be operating just below the surface, and are able to wonder what has hurt them and why they might be so scared. We show love when we see a small child throwing themselves on the floor in the aisles of a supermarket, shouting that they want it again and again, and don't focus only on how inconvenient it is to steer our trolley around them and how piercing and maddening their screams are, but also feel how much we understand their frustration and would want to tell them that their pain is, in its general form, ours too. However many songs celebrate the act of love, it's no particular feat to love someone who's on their best behaviour, who looks beautiful and moves with grace through the world. What really cries out for attention is the love of what is crooked and gnarled, damaged and self-disgusted. In this definition, love is the effort required to imagine oneself more accurately into the life of another human who has not made it in any way easy to admire or even like them. In the Western tradition, it was the man from Nazareth who gave us the most memorable demonstrations of this sort of love, who made it seem glamorous to love differently from the Romans and the Greeks, to love the prostitute, the prisoner and the sinner, to show love to a wretch, a catastrophe and an enemy. To extrapolate from this approach, a truly Christian dating app would not merely highlight the beautiful and the dazzling. It wouldn't allow us to swipe away every slightly displeasing person at a stroke. It would instead stop us arbitrarily at photographs of hugely challenging figures, lepers, reprobates, and would command, with all the authority of divine intonation, love. Here, where it would feel so natural and so easy to hate or look away, your duty is to love. It's a measure of how far we've forgotten everything to do with this sort of love, how committed we are to love as admiration, that such a command would sound very peculiar and laughable. Yet we might say that nothing is more important than this sort of love, that this is the love that rescues nations from intolerance, that pauses wars, that halts recriminations, that calms furies, and that allows civilization to continue. True love involves precisely not giving someone what is their due, but giving them instead what they need in order to survive.
To learn more about love, try our book on how to find love, which explains why we have the types we do and how our early experiences shape how and whom we love.